Colin Thompson, going to stop by and talk a little football, a little life, a little everything with us. He's down in Florida as the end of the XFL season abruptly happened, which got him quarantined in Florida. And I guess the weather's been a little nice. It's not so bad up here, man. The weather is not terrible, but I guess it's been a lot nicer through like when did the season officially get stopped again?
The season stopped a few. You hear me all right, Mike?
Yep, I got you.
The season stopped a few weeks back. I don't even remember at this point. Week 5, I should say, so halfway through the XFL season. And yeah, we were 1-4, and it's really trending in the right direction as a team. A really good football team that we had in Tampa. And yeah, it's crazy. It folded out of nowhere. The AAF, there was a lot of smoke.
Yeah.
And usually smoke, there's fire, right? The old saying. So that folded, and I came down here to the Destin, Santa Rosa Beach area. And now this folded, and I came here as well, hanging with my girlfriend and her mom, and we're just killing time, and I'm training to get back to the NFL. And there's no better place for me to train. The beaches have officially closed, so I can't do that. But I got plenty of hills to run, plenty of fun workouts that we've created around here for me in shape, and hopefully get back to the NFL.
Yeah, well, so give us a little insight. You played in the AAF, and then you played in the XFL. Just kind of like the comparison between the two leagues and kind of, how you felt. Because obviously the AAF folded because of monetary reasons. This folded because of life reasons. But was the play comparable? I mean, was it run equally? I mean, what did you think about the XFL compared to the AAF?
Well, I think the play was a little bit better in the XFL, partially because the AAF existed. It allowed players to play another year instead of retire and say, you know what, I'm done. I don't have a lot of options. I don't want to play arena, or I don't have an option in arena, or I don't have an option to go to the CFL, whatever it may be. This allowed you to play semi-pro football, real football on American soil, which really hasn't been a thing. And that was the AAF. And then that allowed players to, like I said, not retire, play another year, train another year. So it made the draft pool much bigger than I think it would be if the AAF did not exist. So I think the AAF did help the XFL out in that way, but really off the field, the leagues do not compare. XFL was so first class in everything they did. That's the word I've used across the board, and that's first class. To 5-star travel, chartered jets we flew as a team, which is normal for professional level at the top level, NFL, MLB, NHL, etc. You're going to fly private charter. We flew private, and we played in Seattle in a great stadium where the Seahawks play. We played where the LA Galaxy play in LA. That was a really cool environment and a great little fan base.
Is that where the Chargers play?
Correct. And it's definitely it's built more for XFL than probably NFL.
Oh yeah.
But I know, yeah. But it's a cool area. It's a great stadium. We played where the Giants played.
Well, you know what's interesting, because they're talking about now, because of this, that the new Chargers/Rams stadium probably not going to be ready in time for the football season to start.
We drove by it. It is massive. The whole property, I don't know how they found that property out there in LA, because there's so much going on. There's not a lot of room really to do much. But yeah, it was that was pretty cool. It was really cool. And like I said, everything was first class. We traveled first class. We stayed in 5-star hotels. We got paid a smaller portion of what we made in the AAF. I guess that'd be the one thing. A lot of it was based off win bonus, and if you were active in a game, your salary could jump, 3/4 of what you would have made if you didn't win or weren't active, weren't playing, weren't dressed for that game. So that was nice, and that was unique in a way. When you get a win, that paycheck was nice. But really, why guys play in this league is to get the NFL. That is the number one reason for 99% of the players, maybe 90% of the players, I should say, is to get back to the league.
Yeah,
get back.
That's the thought for a lot of those guys. But a lot of those guys are playing because, quite frankly, the NFL is not an option for them. So I'm wondering if, like, moving forward, if you see the viable nature of players kind of becoming I don't want to say attached to teams, but becoming like, hey, this is my team now, and that teams could start building an identity around these kind of like XFL, I don't want to say lifers, but people who realize that this is who I am. I'm an XFL guy, and I'm okay with that, and this is the town, and this is the team that I'm going to kind of, associate myself with. Like that to me is how potentially the league would grow and be able to kind of have some sort of recognition, like your buddy PJ Walker. Like, let's say he doesn't get signed by an NFL team and that he's back there next year with Houston. Obviously, that's not going to happen right now because he got signed. But to have players that you recognize on those teams, as opposed to changing the rosters over every single season.
I do see it happening, Mike. I mean, I've talked to several players that I played with saying, hey, would you come back here if you didn't get picked up by a team? And that's what everyone says. If you don't get picked up by a team, I think that's what drives us to get back to the league. Sure, there'll be lifers, but I think the lifers won't be like, I could see maybe I'll move to Tampa because it's a great place to live and I'm going to train to get back to the NFL. And if I fall, hey, you know what? I'm falling on a really great situation that's treated me really well. It's first class, like I said. You have a great head coach in Mark Trestman. All the coaches in the league were really good. All my buddies around the league love playing for their guys and love the front offices and the community service. Like you're saying, like you're getting ingrained in the community. There's people that know when you turn on Tampa, these 4, 5, maybe 10 players every year are the stars, give or take a couple positions. So I think it's a great question. I do see it happening. I really do. I would definitely go back to the XFL if it was needed. Hopefully I do not, but if it's needed, I would definitely play there for sure. Again.
Well, and I guess it's a good sign that I know Vince McMahon also runs the WWE, but he was listed on the call the other day with the president twice. So I'm assuming that they were listing him both times, once as the WWE chairman and once as the commissioner, or not commissioner, but the owner of the XFL. So him being on that call, I guess, gives a little bit of light to potentially that if there was anybody concerned that the XFL would not come back because of all this, that him being on that call at least gives some light. And I'm wondering if you have been told or anything, is this season just completely shut down, or are they going to hope to bring it back they're not going to hope to bring it back and compete with the NFL, right?
No. This season's done. But they assured us, and they've assured us multiple times that this thing's going to go for 3 years plus. I think they were curious to see how the turnouts would be in person, even though that's really not what drives revenue. Obviously, the TV does. And the turnouts in person were strong. My biggest, just for me, we had 15,000 people on a Sunday night. When spring training's going on, you could be at the beach on a Sunday. There's much more to do. We have 15,000 people. We're 0-3 at Raymond James Stadium. It's our second home game, and the place was packed. We ended up beating DC pretty good and getting our first win. But, I think being on that call shows what the world thinks of the XFL. I know the sports world loved it. I couldn't tell you how many people text, calls, tweets. I know it's topics on your shows. It is driven. It's been everything and more. I think what everyone think it will. And I think it's here to stay. This is not a fluky, flimsy league. He's paying Mr. McMahon's paying all of us right now. He's paying all the staff members. He's paying all the players. And this is a business where you get paid to play. The NFL. Wait.
So you're still getting paid even though there's no more games?
Base salary, yep. Wow. The base. So not the active, not the win. That's first class. That's why I say it. That's not normal, Mike. So, and you know that. And for everyone out there, when you see these NFL paychecks, I signed a 3-year, $1.2 million deal with the Giants when I came out and was undrafted. I didn't make any of that. So I didn't play in an active game. This is not baseball or the NBA where you're going to get that guaranteed money. So this is a pay-to-play sport. And we're not playing, and we're getting paid. Same with staff members. That's huge. People are moving to, I'll speak to Tampa. You move to Tampa, you get a house, you're paying rent, you have your kids, your dog, whatever you may have. And people move their entire lives to be a part of this XFL. That's the big thing that gets left over in the AAF is the support staff, the coaches, the operation, the medical team. It's not just all the players and that's it. So it takes a village to work a football team. There's so many people, and it's pretty first class to pay everyone all the way.
What
through.
Did most of your teammates do? Like once the league got shut down, I mean, would people stay there? Were they kind of?
We went out for about 48 hours and had a great time. And
Well,
actually,
I was supposed to come down and meet you down there on that Tuesday. I never
St.
made
Patty's
it.
Day. St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. Did I miss
Actually,
out
I
on
went
St. Patty's
fishing.
Day?
No, I was gone. I was up here in quarantine mode, and um, I'm up in like I said, that Destin area is about 5.5 hours away from Tampa, 6 hours. So, no. So actually, I called into the show when the league folded. We had a meeting in the morning, and then I would say about 4 hours later, I went on a little mini fishing trip just in the little Tampa Bay area with a friend. We fished for snook and redfish and had a great time. And then I called into the show right after, so that was cool. But that was literally what we did right after. And then we went out, had a good time, woke up, did some stuff with the guys during the day, some coaches, and then we dispersed. By Sunday, I would say 99% of the team was out of the Tampa area and on
Wow.
their way home, or some guys live in the area, coaches live, or players. But yeah, so that's it, man. It's just drop of a hat. Once you're out of the team hotel, or once the rent checks stop coming in, whatever that may be, it's time to go. So we're used to it at this point. It sounds crazy, but everybody's been cut on that team. Everyone's lost their job. A lot of guys are part of the AAF. So when football ends, it ends. I find myself a lot with just my car and trash bags full of equipment in the back, or T-shirts, or whatever my clothing is in the back of the car. So it's a very weird time, but it's something I've done a lot playing professional football.
Yeah, that's an interesting story of number one, you were part of the AAF, demise, and how that news gets broken to you, and then what you do in the following days, and then you're a part of this. It's different circumstances, but you got to feel like, my God, they keep pulling the rug out. Like you and your teammates, like you trained, you worked hard, you're down there, and then all of a sudden, boom! Hey, by the way, guys, the season's over. I mean, I get it. These are just ridiculous circumstances, but it's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I invested in an off-season nutrition program, an off-season, thousands of dollars, whatever that is, to train myself in a certain gym, to do different things to improve your ability. And, for that not to live out the whole year, at least we got some games in. At least I have film in. My buddy plays baseball for the Rays. He's actually on my podcast, and Not For Long podcast, not too long ago, and he just said that we just want to play. And I'm like, wow, think about the batting cage time they paid for. Think about the pitching coach they paid this off, to work with them, and then for the next month, they're just sitting down, like all that money, all that effort, all that time, the meal prep, everything you do, the sleep, the sacrifice to come ready to play for spring training, and you only get a couple really spring training games, and really you're not going to have the opportunity to make the team. They're just going to pick the team off of who they think is going to make the major league team, because I doubt they'll have a spring training. They're going to go right into the regular season. So it's a shame. It really is, when it comes to, again, we're talking sports on here, everybody. That's what this is. It's a shame for everybody who's sick, and there's a bunch of world problems we could tackle. We're not doing that here. We're talking sports. So in the sports world, it's a shame. Yes, would I love to play 5 more games? Me personally, I was getting better throughout the year. I thought our team was getting better. That comes with win bonuses and more money. That comes with more play to get to the NFL, right? So more notoriety for the league. So it's just a shame the league folded, the XFL folded, but now with the spring sports, and you talked about on the show earlier today, and really since everything's happened, is how are everything going to match up moving forward. So we're waiting to see. It's crazy.
Yeah, so the whole Masters thing, do you see this? The Masters is going to be played in November. The U.S.
fall is
Open
going to be crazy, Mike. The late summer, early fall, mid-fall is going to be crazy. And I thought you made a great point about when is the game going to – what are you going to do, watch the Masters in the morning? They're going to have to move it up and make – instead of, like you said, when are the Masters going? When are they public to watch? And unless you download the CBS Sports app and pay whatever for it. I mean, they're going to have to say at 9 a.m. you're going to be able to – Eastern time, you're going to be able to watch the Masters and say it ends at 3 o'clock, because then you got to make your mind up nationally, business-wise, for CBS. They don't want golf competing with the NFL. That would crush their ratings. So that's going to be interesting to see how they handle that, because that's a crazy business problem. They're paying Tony Romo how much a year?
$17 million
to do a game. So he's making $1 million a game. He's making 17 weeks in NFL season, so he's making $1 million a game. In one of those games, those ratings aren't going to be good. It's not That's not how that works.
Well, I'm interested to see what ends up happening with the Masters. What do they do with it? They put it on like the CBS Sports Network. I mean,
No way, Mike. There's right. That's a great point. I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying there's no way business. See, that's the mecca on a Sunday afternoon, right? At this time of year is watching. It's finally summer's on its way. It's late April and the Masters are here,
right?
Or early April, I should say. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well,
there's nothing to compete with it.
Yeah, that, and then let's just say everything's back to somewhat normalcy by that point. Okay, we have all the sports back. You got football. You've got the Masters. You've got potentially NBA playoff games. You've got potentially baseball playoff
regular
games.
Season.
Yeah, or regular season. I mean,
right.
Mid-November. Who knows, right? And hockey.
Yeah.
By the way, the hockey is talking about now playing games in North Dakota, just like quarantining everybody out in an area where there's like nobody that lives and just play. Hey, go out there and play hockey games.
I mean, it would just be bedlam. The shortened hockey seasons, I'm a hockey fan.
Well, there's only hockey has like 20 games left or something. Basketball's they're both about to say they both got like 15, 20 games left.
I think they both have to play like 5 regular season games, give teams a chance to maybe sneak in, allow players to get back in shape, maybe 7, maybe like 2 expedition and I don't even know how you do it, but you have to allow players to come back because you can say what you want. You're training in your gym or whatever, but that's the soft tissue injuries that come with it. Pop a calf or a hamstring, all of a sudden, Anthony Davis is out for the playoffs because he, popped a hammy, God forbid. That crushes your ratings. That crushes your team. I know we talk ratings a lot, but it's just crazy. It's part of the business of sports that we're in now. So, no, it's going to be interesting to see. The hockey one in a random place in North Dakota would just be fascinating to watch. I've heard some things about baseball. They're all going to go to Arizona and they're all going to pile into hotels down there, quarantine them out. I've heard the NBA is doing ballrooms of hotels and running those games from a ballroom. So it's going to be interesting.
Right. Atlantic City has been mentioned as one of the places to host these games. Now, I don't know that it's going to happen, but yeah, just basically putting all the players in a casino, all the teams, like, hey, you're on one floor, you're on the next floor, this team's on the next floor, and playing games like downstairs in a ballroom and basically like owning the casino, for however long it takes to get their seasons back off the ground. But, man.
Imagine what Woj would have to do to sneak into there. Woj is going to have like a whole floor to himself.
Well, that's what I was wondering is like, are they going to let like media in? Are these games going to be on? You would imagine they're going to be on television. So,
for sure.
There's got to be right. There's got to be some sort of media allowed in there to, do the beat writers get let in? Do the, how many? What's the limit of how many people get quarantined with this group? And if you are a beat writer, do they make you get quarantined with the team?
Mike, would you get quarantined to have a booth, a 97.3's booth set up there, right on the court?
What, to live in the casino with the teams for, 4 or 5 months?
I don't think it's going to be that long. I guess so.
Well,
what if it was for a week? Would you do it for a week?
Sure. I mean, if they were like, hey, you can cover these games, but you got to quarantine with the teams for however long you want to cover the team for. But that's an interesting question. Like, okay, so the NBA season has 15 or 20. I think the Sixers had how many games left? 17? 17 games left. Now, I don't think they're going to play all 17 games, but wouldn't you, if you were a player, okay, you play, you've been in the NFL, you've just played in the XFL,
yep.
Would you rather finish this season right now that you've already put 60-plus games into, or restart a whole new regular season?
No way. You got to finish all the work, all the time you put in and then you have, if you're LeBron James, right? He's going to win the MVP of the league maybe in year 20 he's in or 18 or whatever that may be. He wants to finish. Regardless, this is their best shot to win a title if you're the Lakers. I'm going kind of off course. You asked what my opinion was. Yes.
Well, right, I said as a fan, I just sat through 65 regular season games, okay? Why do I, after being stripped of these games, want to go back and sit through the minutia of another regular season?
Great point.
When I have the opportunity just to play 10 games and then get me to real playoff games and then start my next season. I don't care. Start it in February for all I give a rat.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point. As a player, absolutely you want to finish what you have started. As a fan, let them finish. Speed it up. It's going to be shortened seasons. We all know what shortened seasons look like. NHL lockout, that was fantastic hockey in that shortened season. The NBA guys will love it. They want it to sit out. They'll all be fresh. It's going to be – but the thing is, like what you brought up, Mike, what's it going to look like the following calendar year? Does everything push back a little bit? Because people have CBAs, there's drafts. You can't just say start at this date. You kind of have to stick somewhat near the calendar.
Right. Well, and there was some talk about from the Atlanta Hawks owner about, hey, why are we competing with football? Let's start our regular season on Christmas Day.
I think it should anyways.
Well, that's what the NBA, one of the NBA owners had come out and said, like, why are we trying to compete with football in October and November? Well, the problem is, Colin, is the regional sports networks are saying, well, we have nothing to show on our networks. Like, if we don't have basketball games and we don't have hockey games being played on Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday nights, we got nothing.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, again, we talk about the ratings, talk about all the business side of sports. To me, though, it makes complete sense because guess what? When the NFL ends, you're the only show in town.
Right.
So it's great. You're going to take a loss in the fall, but your summer, like to me, my favorite memories are with my family on Easter watching Flyers playoff hockey or watching the Masters with a group of people. Everyone's like, oh, they'll be down the shore, quote unquote, talking about the Philly area.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't have stuff in the summer.
Not right now. You're not allowed down here.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, Mike, I'm saying people still go to bars and restaurants. People are still at home. I would go to a Phillies game in July. I mean, I would go to an NBA basketball game in July. I think it'd be great. So
I don't know. Look, I know like right now, okay, you're in Tampa or you were just in Tampa. When I would go to Tampa and go to a hockey game in March, it was like the weirdest thing to go to see the Lightning play. You're wearing like shorts and a T-shirt and flip-flops at a hockey game. It just doesn't feel right.
It doesn't.
And it just like doesn't have the atmosphere of a hockey game there. But basketball is a little different. I don't know. I'm interested to see, like, if you're in midsummer and everybody's down the shore – and you're playing, I mean, this would be like August. You're hopeful anyway. First off, they're not going to have games but I'm talking about NBA playoff games if they start their season in December in the future.
Yeah, I like that. But to me, that means it would bump their playoffs till what? They go October to what now? June?
Right now, yeah, they go October to June.
So if you bump it 2 months forward, November, December, you would go December to August.
Yeah, you're playing
I think
NBA.
It's great, and that takes you right into the NFL season.
Right, you're playing NBA Finals games in August.
I love it because what are you watching? Preseason football? Everyone complained about that last year.
Keep this in mind too. The college basketball season, which ends in the first week of April, is the championship game. Would have been tonight. Would have been the championship game. Those kids would have all that time now to prepare for the draft, whereas they do the championship game is April. They're getting drafted in June.
I wouldn't touch college basketball. I love where it's at.
No, that's what I'm saying. So they're going to be done in April. Then you give them April. Well, a lot of the kids who get eliminated before the championship game too.
Yeah.
April, May, June, July to kind of go through the draft process.
And then your team. Then you can start building your team through the fall. It just makes sense. I think the sports calendar is a little screwed up. I don't think teams will move it, but it probably will never happen. But this is a time for it to happen, though, for sure.
What have you been watching with no sports on?
So, I am doing a little Ozarks right now. Just seems like the rest of the world is too. But we rewatched season 2. We are 3/4 of the way done season 3. That's getting crazy. I'm thinking about dipping back into the Sopranos train here. Love Sopranos.
Yeah, I thought about redoing the. I saw somebody tweet that hey, forgot how good, but I'm trying to find. I don't want to rewatch shows I've already seen. I have all this time. I want to watch new. Now Ozarks, I'm already done. I blew through Ozarks in a weekend.
Yeah, we're almost through it. I mean, we are doing 2 to 3 episodes a night. It's dark, man. So to me, we watch that, and we watch actually a little bit of Schitt's Creek before, after for like 20 minutes, and we just laugh and have a good time. It's just kind of mindless, Yeah, well, that was on what was that on the CW? I don't even know. We just watch it on Netflix now. We just flip over. Yeah, but that's what we're riding right now. But that's been grinding. I'm working out, and I'm trying to be ready to go. I'm watching The Americans. It was on FX. Good. Did you watch? I know of it. I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. I did not see any this weekend. McMullen tells me that I have to watch it. Like, he implores me to watch it. And John's a knowledgeable he seems like he knows what he's talking about when it comes to his TV shows.
Oh, yeah.
We
Me and him have a lot
direct
of
message on Twitter back and forth.
Yeah, me and him, we're both very, very much into the Ozarks. We like a lot of the same. So he says, you must stick with the Americans. Now, my girl and I are watching it, and she's like, oh, I'm in. She's like, I don't have to keep watching, but I'm in. She likes it. And I'm just like, kind of like, and it hasn't grabbed me yet, but I feel like it's coming.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It's 6 seasons long.
Oof, that's a big endeavor. I mean, but we're talking about Sopranos. I mean, that's a full investment.
Now, if you want
time.
a couple of one-seasoners, okay?
Oh, I got a couple, but go ahead.
Okay, a couple one-seasoners. I got The Stranger, The Five, and Safe. They're all 1 season, 10 episodes.
Okay. Huh.
Now, what do you got?
No, well, for me, I like weird stuff. Like a lot of it for me, like I'll watch in season, like take my mind away. It's not crazy. I like Saving Venice. That's an interesting show. Kind of weird. But
Saving Venice?
Yeah, I think it's Saving Venice. I think it's what is it called? No. Hold on. Netflix show. I got to look it up now. That's bad ball on me. That slipped out of my mind. I'm an Entourage fan. That's my heart. That's Flaked on Netflix.
Now Flaked. I watched Entourage when I was in college, and I liked it, but I felt like I just kept watching it towards the end because I had come too far. But I thought it kind of got weaker as it went later on.
I mean, it is
same with Sopranos, though.
Oh yeah, I mean Sopranos. I don't know, it's tough, but I think you're right in a way. Sopranos is just so long. There's so much going on. It's a lot to handle. The Entourage thing it's great to watch with some buddies. It's perfect for your college days. There's not really anything holding you suspense-wise to continue watching. It's just kind of fun, L.A., fake around Mark Wahlberg's life, loosely based. So it's good stuff. But there's a lot out right now. Sports documentary. Well, we all saw the Tiger King, right? That just goes
I'm not watching Tiger King. I'm out.
What?
I'm out.
What do you mean you're out?
I'm not watching it.
Have you started?
No, I didn't. What do you mean I didn't start? I'm not watching it. I refuse.
Mike. Listen, I'm the big fan. I'm the guy too to push against what everybody says to watch and do. Like if everyone's like doing, that's not really my shtick. I like to listen to different stuff, music. Like I'm not. That's on me. I get what you're saying. Spend the time and watch it. I promise it's going to be worth your while.
Colin Thompson, we'll catch up later on in the week, man. But it was good to catch up here for a segment or so.
Wonderful. Thank you, Michael.
All right, brother. Take care.
Appreciate you having me.
All right, Colin Thompson, everybody here on the Sports Bash Live, live down there in Florida. He just wrapped up that whole XFL season and was kind enough, to jump on board, share some thoughts and some memories of that.